Hello everyone. Today I want to talk with you about the Punnnett square. It's a very particular tool that will help us understand and predict how the offsprings will look like. It's a way to calculate the probability of an offspring having a specific characteristic or trait. So for us to understand this first, well, we need to talk a little about, make a little review. We already know what is a dominant trait. Dominant trait, that's the one that it's always represented in the phenotype. So, and what is a recessive trait? That in this case is going to be a particular trait that it won't be reflected in the phenotype unless both alleles will be the same. Okay, so one thing you should remember is that an allele is a version that we have of a specific gene. And depending on which allele do we have, if it is a dominant or recessive, it will be expressed either in the phenotype, that's like the stuff that we can see, or the genotype, that's the genes that are inside the body. So let's talk about peace. You remember peace? Last time we were talking about it, and it's the most basic experiment that we can do. A piece, like let's just say that it's in this shape. Well, for us, the green color is going to be a dominant trait. That means that this P, this is the phenotype, that's the stuff where we can see it, but on the inside, the genotype could be either with a dominant, let's call it green, let's call it G, like this. Remember, every sexual organism will have two different alleles for each gene. Even if they are the same, one of them from the father, the other one from the mother. So it could be like this, GG, or it could be like this with lowercase g. That means that this one, this little one that I read in the second one, that's going to be the recessive trait. But since in the genotype we have the dominant trait, well, the P will still have the phenotype green. What will be the other case? And the one that is going to interest us in here, that is going to be when in this case, the P is going to exhibit a phenotype of, in this case, the color yellow. That means the only way that it can happen is that both of them are lowercase g. That means that the only case where a recessive trait, let's call it a recessive trait, is going to be expressed is going to be when the two of them are recessive. The two of them are the same version. For a dominant trait, well, only one should be, the other one doesn't matter. Most of the time, this is because the recessive trait means that they are not making a protein, so, and the dominant is that they are making the protein. So if they have only one gene to make the protein, well, they will express the trait. But in order to don't have that characteristic, they have to actually be, well, they will have to be making the protein. Okay, so let's talk about the basic way to calculate all these probabilities. So remember, we have two different organisms, two parents that are going to come together and give us an offspring. In that case, well, we have, let's just say, like either I will write it here, something like this. The father is this, and the mother is also that one. That could be one case. The other one is the father is heterozygous. That means that he has one dominant, one recessive. The other one is homozygous for dominant. let's just say the third one will be an heterozygous with another heterozygous. It will be a different case. And the third one is going to be a recessive homozygous, a dominant homozygous with a recessive homozygous, and a dominant, I'm sorry, a heterozygous with a recessive homozygous. And one last combination will be this one. So as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different combinations that we can make from the same, well, only 2 pairs of genes, 2 parents. That's the only one. What I want to tell you is, let's put it this way: this and these two are pretty easy to tell the outcome. For the first one, the 2 homozygous, dominant homozygous, 100% of the offspring will be dominant homozygous. There is nothing in there to actually calculate. In the second one, it's mostly the same stuff. 100% of them will be recessive homozygous. So in those 2 cases, well, pretty sure that you can do it mentally because, well, there's no other option. You cannot actually get a gene from nothing. So those 2 are pretty easy to tell. Okay, so these 2 pretty easy to tell. Let's check what will happen with this one. This is kind of simple one to actually do the diagram. So first, let me draw my lines in here. We got one in here, one here. It's a square. Now, you can tell what it got its name. To make it easier for me, I will. Well, there we go. So I will write it down here. The different options. So we got this one in here, and in here we got this. So we come up the 2 of them together. We got in here these 2, because those are the 2 options that we have in here. Remember, we are talking about the sperms and egg. In this case, it doesn't matter which one is which one. We only know that they will be randomly assorted. So for this, it will be this, and well, more or less here is the same idea. So from this one, what we can conclude, the first one is 100% of them will be green. There is no other option. If you check here, all the options are either one of these. So 100% of them will be green. But the other stuff that you can tell here is that 50-50 chances of getting either the dominant homozygous or the heterozygous. So 50-50 chance. Pretty straightforward. Now let's check it for the next one. What will happen if both of them are heterozygous? This is the most interesting case. We are going to have something different here. Let me draw my 2 lines. So in here, what I'm going to do is we got an uppercase and a lowercase for each of the parents. they can produce gametes with each of them. So here in the middle, we got this option. And this other one. So in this case, as you may already notice, we got 3 out of 4 chances of getting a green P. So that's going to be 75%. 75% will be green. But the good news or the interesting stuff is that 25% of them will have the homozygous for the recessive trait. So in this case, will be yellow. That's, well, that's very interesting. And that's what can happen in, well, real life. The other stuff that we can tell from here is 25% of them will have the homozygous for the dominant trait. 50% of them will be heterozygous. That's also interesting. And 25% of them will have the homozygous for the recessive trait. So as you may already notice, well, either knowing the genotype, we can know the phenotype. But if we only know the phenotype, we just can't like imagine what will happen. We will need a little more extra information for this one. So these two, I will give you the tip. For this one, there is no other option. I will move it here. So you can tell. If I do the same diagram that I did with this two, the only outcome with this will be 100% of them will be heterozygous. So that's going to be capital G with lowercase g. That's how we represent, remember. So because there is no other option, 100% of them will be like this, 100% will be green. In other words, if you combine a plant that only gives green peas with another plant that only gives yellow peas, the result will be a plant that will only give green peas. If later you combine these two, you will have something like this. 75% of them will be green, 25% will be yellow. For the last case, in this case, we'll have an heterozygous with a homozygous recessive. So we are going to have something a little bit different. That's gonna, it's not going to take me that much time. As you may already notice, well, we have the idea of what is happening here. So hopefully you will know what to expect. From this one, we are gonna have these two options for the parents. Yeah, because one of them is homozygous for the recessive trait and the other one is heterozygous. It doesn't matter where you put it, the stuff in here, just be sure that one of them is one of the parents and the other one is the other part of the parents. So it doesn't matter which one you choose. For example, I've been using this little arrangement, but you can change this to this place and it will be the same. So we have this like this. What else do we have? Here, these two options. Here, something like this. And in here, we got an heterozygous. So again, we are going to end up with something like we did in here, a 50-50 probability, but it will be a little different. First, 50% of them will be green, and the other 50% will be yellow. So that's something that you can tell from this square. Then for the phenotype, that's good. Sorry, for the genotype, that's the insides, we're going to have also 50-50. For the 50%, the first one, we're going to have an heterozygous, and for the other 50%, we're going to have recessive homozygous. Yeah, so those are the outcomes that we have. Either all of them will be the same, like these three. Yeah, very boring, very straightforward. Or you can have a little more like fun in this process. As you may tell, the recessive one is never going to be like the most probable outcome. 50% is the top. The only way that you can have the recessive one at 100% is going to be by the two parents having that. So in this case, talking about colors, it means that the two parents are yellow, so the offspring will be yellow. That's something that can happen with, for example, two parents having blue eyes. The only outcome possible for that is that the kids will have blue eyes. There is no other option. In the next video, I will talk about what happened with blood in humans. And that's a specific case because we have multiple alleles in there. There are not only two versions of the same gene, but we are going to check what will happen if we combine every type of blood type with the other one, what the outcome will be. Very interesting. That way, well, you may be able to tell if your parents are really your parents. Yeah. So be aware of that. Don't do it if you're not ready to know it. Thank you for watching this. Any doubts, you know how to find me. See you later.